Richmond International Raceway has been a Kyle Busch kind of place on this Friday so far. He won 2 pole positions today. In the Nationwide Series, kind of hard to believe, but it's his first pole of 2010. Kyle's up front all the time. We just think he's got a handful of them, but pole number 1 for this season for Kyle Busch. He also won the Sprint Cup Series pole position a little bit later in the afternoon. And as Kyle leads the field off the pit lane onto the track for the parade and pace laps, we'll show you the starting lineup across the top of the screen. And when the 11th starter comes by, you will see the name of our in-race reporter, Kevin Harvick.
Kevin, Rusty Wallace, ESPN, you got us?
10-4, Russell.
Hey, buddy, it's been a lot of slipping and sliding right out there today in practice. Everybody knows you practice during the day and you're going to race at night, man. How's that going to affect your car?
Well, you definitely make some adjustments to free your car up from what you did in practice. We left our car a little bit free in practice to kind of anticipate the night. So this first run here is a good indication as to where we need to get our balance, and then we'll go from there.
Kevin, we got an ESPN mailbag question. It comes from Norma in Blossom, Texas. The question is, how hard is it to go from a fast track like Talladega to a short track like Richmond?
That's definitely different, but you know, after you get through all the practices and stuff, you become pretty accustomed to what you're doing. But you got a lot of heavy braking here. Talladega, you're just wide open on the mat, kind of a chess game here. It's all about handling, getting the horsepower to the ground and doing the things you need to do to make your car go through the corner.
Kevin, we always see a lot of the brake rotors glowing cherry red at this racetrack. Some guys, it's glowing early. Some guys, it's late. Will brakes be an issue here at Richmond tonight, you think?
I don't think they'll be an issue, but I do think that they'll be glowing, and ours will probably be some of the first ones glowing, so that's pretty normal for us.
All right, Kevin, have a good run. Thanks for talking to us.
Thanks, guys.
Now, Kevin carrying one of our ESPN high-definition onboard cameras during the race tonight. 7 more, including Justin Allgaier in the Verizon wireless car, Matt Kenseth with the Ford Drive 1 camera, Kyle Busch with his NOS machine, Brad Keselowski, the Nationwide Insurance camera, Kevin Harvick, we talked about, Stephen Wallace, the 5-hour energy camera, Jamie McMurray, he's pretty deep in the starting field with the Hellman's camera, and Trevor Bayne with the Aaron's machine, the 99 car, will ride with him as well. And our over-the-wall reporter tonight is Ben Stager from Fairfax, Virginia, up by D.C. Hey, Ben, have a safe night tonight. The rear tire carrier for the 62 car of Brendan Gaughan. And let's check down on pit road one final time before it gets really noisy. Dr. Jerry Punch, take the advantage of the quiet.
Well, if you poll the top crew chiefs, they'll tell you the pit strategy very simple. They got 4 sets of tires behind the wall, a 250-lap race, so they're going to stop every 50 or 60 laps depending upon the caution flags. The key, having the freshest tires on for that final 50 laps. Mike.
And Doc, nothing enhances pit strategy more than having the #1 pit stall. Tonight, that belongs to our pole sitter, Kyle Busch, enabling him to get off pit road rather easily, although it's not as easy as you might think. Pit exit is actually 90 feet in that direction. He has to get there in order to maintain his track position. Kyle Busch doesn't need much of an advantage, though. He's won here 3 times in the Nationwide Series, including twice from the pole, Dave.
Mike, Justin Allgaier has pit stall 32, which means he's got guys behind him, he's got guys in front of him, and if they go down a lap early, well, then they won't have the same chance to pit with him on the same caution flag lap. So he doesn't wish them any ill will, but if that happens, he'll have a clear shot in and out of pit road. That would be great for this team that won the first short track race of the season at Bristol. Alan?
All right, David, thank you. Justin's 4th in the championship coming in, and he's got a little bit of work to do on pit road, as you heard Dave say just a minute ago. Got some laps to get that work done, though.
Yeah, you can see this track's a lot different than last week.
Yeah.
250 laps, and it can go about 100 to 110 laps on fuel. They'll want tires a little bit sooner than that, but that's how far the tanks will go.
Of course, Brad Keselowski won that race at Talladega on that track, so very different from this. He and his team getting all pumped up for the race a minute ago. Listen.
You down there all ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Man, nice qualifying on the Cup side, and we'll have a good one tonight. Remember the big picture, just like you've been running. Let's have a good one.
Got it. Thank you very much.
Man, I heard that a lot of times out of that guy. I mean, Roger Penske comes across the radio and says, okay, guys, you worked hard, you did good. He really pumps you up, takes care of the team. And I will tell you, when I was driving at this particular track, this is the point that made me the most nervous, Andy. I even had people come across and say, hey, you know your tires are flat? And it's because
they look flat. You were running them about half flat on the left side. I think that was your trick.
Oh, I was always getting amped up at this track. This is my nervous time right now, getting ready for this start.
As they head into turn number 3, 43 strong. Ready to go 250 laps. Nervous. as Rusty said. Pulling on the belts, getting ready to go as the pace car pulls off. A very warm day, a very long day for these drivers behind the wheel of these cars. But these are the laps that count as we get ready to go racing in Richmond. Cleanly through 1 and 2. Kyle Busch out front, jockeying for the bottom. Looked like Carl Edwards maybe had a little wiggle down there and is sliding up the track again.
Man, this is the part in the race right now as a driver. You got to be extremely patient. Your air pressures are down. I mean, you see you can pass this guy, but you got to pass him at the right place.
Yeah, but how patient can you be? You're looking at Kyle Busch now getting a huge lead on the first lap. And Reed Sorensen now looks like he's pulled a little bit of breathing room on Keselowski, but Keselowski's coming back on him a little. You see here, you got Logano now working underneath Trevor Bayne.
Well, Andy, you know, one thing that the guys got to remember is that they practice during the day. They really don't know what their car is going to do until right now. I mean, it's getting dark here in Richmond. The track has cooled down a lot. This is a time when you're going to know what kind of setup you got.
So Keselowski in the 22 through to second. First side-by-side back there, Trevor Bayne and Greg Biffle, 99 and 27, and that's for 6th and 7th.
See Biffle working the top side of that track, a lot of momentum up there, and it's coming in pretty quick. This track is notorious for working on the bottom, the middle, and the top. And you saw Biffle there right off the bat.
Yeah, I don't think Biffle really wanted to be up there right there at that time, but he got kind of forced up there and worked it to his advantage. Now he's got the position on Trevor. Now you see the 12 car working the outside, so track's coming in nice.
Talked about Justin Allgaier having a little bit of work to do on pit road, doing some nice work out on the racetrack there. Outside lane. Now that 49 car you're seeing just coming off of pit road, that's Mark Green. They were changing a tire as just after the field went green, so something not right there with that 49 machine.
That's the last thing you want to have happen. You'd be stuck on pit road at the start of the race, losing all his positions. But look at Allgaier on the top side of that track, man. He's up there earlier, and I thought he could be able to do that, Andy. He's looking good up there. Now back to the bottom.
Yeah, it looks like 1 and 2, they want to be on the bottom. There's more grip down there. 3 and 4, they're able to make this move on the outside.
Kevin Harvick started 11th, trying to take 8th spot away from Trevor Bayne. I love Dave's question to him. Kevin said he'd had to take his lumps in qualifying to be good for the race. Dave asked him how lumpy his car was. So we'll see how lumpy his car is here in these first 100 laps.
You know, what Kevin tell us last time? He started 18th or something like that. And in 50 laps, he was leading the race. He's got a lot of confidence, but the guy on the top side, Trevor Bayne, he's got a little confidence right now. I mean, he's had some problems this year. Not of his doing, but, you know, Andy, we talked earlier, a lot of these drivers, man, they've been looking forward to tonight to get this rhythm back and get going. And this 99 of Trevor Bayne is one of those guys.
Right behind Harvick in that 16 car, Matt Kenseth. Roush Fenway team having races unsponsored, and as we done, little contact there.
Little contact. Looks like Kevin says, I want that spot now.
And he's got it. Continuing on there, Roush Fenway having some unsponsored races and having taken, speaking of lumps, some lumps in this first part of the season, has put Matt Kenseth in the car for this week and next week. Picked up some sponsorship for this week and next week, and out there trying to give these guys a boost. The guys that work on the car, Andy, when you've taken some lumps early in the season.
Well, obviously Matt Kenseth is very talented. See, now here he's working right behind Kevin Harvick right when they got together. Just a little contact. But when you have somebody like Matt Kenseth, he is so good with getting the car where it needs to be. And that's a big key. And not only does he have talent to get it done on the racetrack, which he'll do tonight. I mean, you'll see him up front all night. But he's one of those guys that really knows how to get the car where it needs to be.
I know. If I could never tell my crew what they needed in a car, it totally confused the team. They never could figure out what to do. And, I mean, they've had some lumps lately, like you said. And to get Matt back in this car and let him help the pit crew, let them build their confidence back up to say, we do have a good car or we got a bad car, that's going to help Stenhouse, that's going to help Brown, it's going to help everybody.
So you see the distance from 10th place Matt Kenseth to leader Kyle Busch, who has Brad Keselowski trying to close in. It's early on, under the lights on a Friday night in Richmond. After all the weather problems the NASCAR Nationwide Series has faced the last couple weeks, a beautiful day in Richmond, Virginia, turning into a beautiful night for most in the field. Willie Allen been the fastest mover through the first 12 laps. Then he was the guy that wound up bringing out the first caution.
Well, You take a look at Michael Annett right on the bottom of the racetrack. This is the spot in the track, Andy, where you're still turning. And you see his car gets a little loose right there. He chases up the hill, and he gets right into the side of Willie Allen, blows out that left rear tire. And I will promise you, that was not intentional. That was just an ill-handling car early in the race.
Yeah, that's one of those things about this track. It seems like there's a blurry line between the corner and the straightaway because you're still turning the race car as you come up off that corner.
Oh, absolutely. It's got a lot of radius to it. Still pulling on the wheel.
Oh, Kevin LePage in that yellow car just missed Willie. So caution's out. None of the front runners have stopped. We'll come back for the restart.